Okay, so when I painted these three flowers, I was thinking about how they were going to relate to each other, right? What I'd like you to do is to do three different flowers in your sketchbook and paint them and cut them out and then decide how they're going to relate to each other. So I'm going to do it again here. Without looking at that, I'm going to take these three things that I traced here and I'm going to decide on my page how I want them to work and how I want them to relate to each other and how I want them to relate to the page, right? So I'm going to put that one there. Let's put this on an 8-inch repeat top to bottom. Take the next one that you cut out, place it so that it's exactly the same direction on your page. And then you're going to slide it down 8 inches. So you're going to say, each of these is an inch. Let me get my ruler here. Each of these, yeah, each of the little marks is a 1/2 inch. So I need to come down, if this comes right here, it's halfway down between there. Let's take this point here, where this point of the flower touches that point on the grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm off my page, but that's okay. I'm going to see where this comes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, I'm going to go way off the page. All right, I'm going to do a 6 inch. 1, 2, 3. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be right to here. So that's off the page, but I'm just going to pull this flower down without twisting it at all, if I can, and put that point right there at that point. I'm going to notice that this line comes here almost to that line. So this line here should come almost, if I want to measure, I can make a mark on a sheet of paper and bring it down. I want to make sure that this on this top corner comes up to that point right there, the way this comes up to that corner on the top point right there. Now I have an exact 6 inch repeat between those two flowers. So I can tape this one down below it. If I took my third one and moved up 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not going to see it up there. It's not going to come onto my page. The reason I want you to tape the third one was to do a left and a right repeat. So I want you to place this over top of that one here. And I'm going to do another 6. That would be square side, right? So let's do 6 inches to the left. So from this point right here, I want to come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and line it up right there. I think I want to do more than that. I want more space between this and that. So maybe I'm going to lay it over here. I'm going to figure out what it is right now. That was 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to go 9. Let's make a note over here. I want a 9 inch repeat horizontal. And I want a 6 inch repeat vertical. All right, so here's 9 from there. Let's check it one more time. Measure twice and cut once, right? 1, 2. See, that's not going to work. I counted wrong. Here I'm on the half, so I got to go half each time, not land on the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 should be here. I'm going to place this to make sure I didn't twist it. Should be like that. Slide it over here to my 9. Make sure the top is, see how this is too low? It should be up a little bit more that way. Now I have a horizontal and a vertical repeat happening within here. So if I take a sheet of tracing paper and lay it along the repeat line here, which is my horizontal repeat line, and I say this is the edge of the repeat, and it repeats right there. Now coming into that line, there's this flower edge right here. If I trace it like that, I should be able to slide that to the left and put this X on that X. And see this flower exactly repeating right there and coming right to the edge of the line at exactly the same spot. Looks like I need to move that flower just about 1/16 of an inch like that. This one's going to come down to here. This is my lower repeat line here. And that point and this point line up really nicely. So this flower that's off up here, I'm going to adjust just a little bit. I like that this is removable tape. I can pull it right up. And I can put my tracing paper over the top of my flower. Lay it on there and slide this puppy underneath. I'm going to take the tape off so I'm not gumming it out. There we go. Slide this in between till I get the line that I want. There we go. That's much more accurate than the first time I taped it. Better, much better. I like that. Now I have a perfect repeat on these 3 flowers. I'm just going to check my other direction by cutting a sheet of paper, lining it up this way along this repeat line. This is the bottom end of my repeat right here. This is the top end of my repeat right here. And the only thing I've got happening in there is actually this little thing comes in here and here. Just a little touch right there. Right? So now if I take this point here and I move it to this point here, and line it up along this line on the grid, it should be that this flower lies under it right exactly where I drew, and it looks like I'm okay on that. But this flower comes across the line right there where it's supposed to. This flower dips in right there, and this flower starts in and comes in that way. I'm going to call this my vertical repeat, since it's a vertical line, and I'm going to call this my horizontal repeat line. So I'm going to write on this vertical. And I'm going to write on that other sheet horizontal. So I take the next 2 motifs, since I have 3, I slide them around on the page, deciding how much negative space I want, deciding whether I want these to face up or down, right or left. Get myself a relationship that I like, and then tape them down onto the page. I'm basically working inside of this box, but I'm also overlapping the box a little bit, knowing that I want it to fill the space. So now I have within this square the flowers themselves laid down the way I want them to repeat. And I can take this one, and since I know that my vertical repeat is 6 inches, I can find a place where it hits the grid, and I can go 6 up from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is right there. So I'm going to put this point right there, and that point right there. Is that going to work? No. Am I overlapping those two flowers? Looks like I need a 4th flower, don't I? This shows me a new technique rather than that tricky rotating thing I was doing. If I lay the flower on top of this flower and I actually draw the grid onto it, I can just lay it on the grid down here. Okay, I do need a 4th flower. So it looks like this flower here is going to overlap that flower. Dang it. So I'm going to draw this flower on here. I'll remove this flower. Guess the square side repeat needs 4 sides, huh? So that flower is going to sit there, and this flower is going to come back to where it should be. Line that up on the grid. This up on the grid. Now I'm ready to place these guys. So I'm going to have to move this a little bit because it doesn't want to be too close to the other one. I feel like this would be better that way. So I'm relating the edge of this curve over here to the curve of this flower and the curve of that flower. This one I want to relate over here. I want to turn it this way. All right. Once I get those flowers situated inside of here and they all relate to each other, then I can place this one on top of here. This time, so I don't get twisted, I just figured out a new thing to do. I'm going to draw a grid in here. So here's a line coming this way. This and that should line up with the edges. This line right. No. This line should be here and here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5, 6. That should line up with this. This line here should be right there. You guys don't need to finish this during this class. This is going to be your homework, okay? You just need to get this concept. So now I should be able to take my vertical pattern, lay it on top of here and say, I laid this here. And this is where this crosses that. This is now where this flower comes over to here. So I should be able to say that crosses right there. And right here. This comes out and does that. Across that vertical line. So if I pull this vertical line down here, it tells me that this one's not lined up exactly, and that I have a problem there with my repeat, that this guy needs to come down a little bit. Or the drawing or cutting was off, could be that too. So there's a lot of places here. But I can be wrong, and all of this checking is going to help me get it more better. So right here, I have this flower coming up this way. Cross that line. I can draw this in this way and say that's where that touches and that's where that touches. And if I come up here, see how that touches that perfectly and this touches that? Great, I'm okay.